Welcome, guys. Instead of doing a regular review here, I'm kind of going to just basically say how I feel about the show. And I will tell you this the show was good. You'll have no problems watching it. I will say what the matches were. I'm going to say that. But I want to say this before I get started here. When you look at pro wrestling, if they're televised, all pro wrestling shows all do exactly the same thing. They end their year counting on if they're going to do a recap or not, like Impact Wrestling and WWE. They will end some feuds and start new ones going to the next year. And that's pretty much what AEW's done, just like NXT did. Now, was it a better show than NXT? Yes, it's got more better action. Let's be honest here. It was much more better action, even though it was a 2-hour show, just like NXT was. But I'm going to tell you this. When you see both shows, you wonder where they're going to go with this. And it's not bad, but it's a big question. Will they continue pushing along? Because for the last year, they've been like this. It's been AEW. Now, they've been stable, but the question is, can they go back up? That's going to be the question. And this is kind of the show that's going to give you a good idea of what we're really going to be getting by next year. Because yes, the next Dynamite is going to be the new year, and we will see I believe it was a ladder match for like the Elite versus Death Triangle, and I'll go to that one first. But you're honestly going to see either they're going to really make something of this new year, or they're going to stay with the status quo. Many wrestling promotions do the same thing. They either going to build into something that's going to give you something, or they're just going to stay with the status quo just because they go to the next year they don't. It's always going to be one or the other. Question's going to be, is AEW going to rise to the occasion? That's what it comes down to. Now, let's go to the first match I want to talk about, and that is the best of 7. The sixth match in best of 7, where the Elite must beat Death Triangle. If they don't, it's over. This is a Falls Count Anywhere match. Was it crazy? Yes, it was. At one point, I think Kenny did get hurt a little bit on the last move he did with Rey Fenix when he decided to do a one-winged angel off, looked like a stage that's right next to where the seats were. Landed his tuchus, his tailbone straight onto the table that collapsed on it, and he might have hurt himself. There's no way you can't break your tailbone or at least bruise it really good trying to do a one-winged angel. Now, I'm not going to give you all the high spots. There's no point in it. There was so many, I'm not going to remember them. And you're going to say, well, what about this spot or what about that spot? I will tell you that the shining person there was my boy Pac. Of course, you got to say Pac, but I said Pac. That's my boy. He is one of the best all-around high-flying wrestlers. And it's hard to say that when so many people say, well, Ricochet's a high-flying wrestler. Or you could easily say Wes Lee is a high-flying wrestler, one of the best, or Carmelo Hayes. But unfortunately, none of them understand to really use psychology. Pac is one of the very rare few there's an all-arounder that can do all the flips, all the kicks, all the high flying, but has enough understanding of psychology to take his time to make it mean something important. That is why he's still my favorite high flyer, even though I'm not fond of all high flyers, but he's one of the few that I appreciate. And he was one of the people that was shining there for me personally. Yeah, you can say Rey Fenix was good, and when it came to Kenny was really good, particularly when he did that V trigger off of Rey Fenix when they were was it Rey Fenix or was it Matt Jackson? I cannot remember when he decided that V trigger at him. Now he did do a V trigger with Pac inside of a trash can. I'm just saying that. But it was a good match. Now we're going to have the ladder match, I believe. The question's going to be, of course, who's going to win? I'm not going to predict anything because at this point, it really doesn't matter who wins. Their best of 7 has been atypical between the two. Let's be honest. And the problem here is that we've seen them do so many things over the years, And now, yes, they didn't make the best of 7 boring, but we already know whoever wins, it's not going to end that quickly. It won't. But that's just me. Moving on. Let's open with Brian and Ethan Page, where we got a little bit of MJF in the nosebleed area, as they call it, with some woman, good-looking woman, not his lady, with a tat right across her chest, going right down to the cleavage, and you gotta go, damn. Or, damn. There you go. Hopefully I didn't hurt your ears. But, here's the thing. Seeing Ethan yell at MJF and seeing Brian stare at MJF, you wonder, are they ever going to do something with Ethan Page? Yes, Ethan is in a high spot with Bryan Danielson. I would never have thought that he was ever going to meet him in the ring. And he has. And personally for me, knowing how Ethan worked in Impact Wrestling, seeing him work with Bryan Danielson, a main eventer in multiple promotions, AEW, WWE, ROH, and anywhere else, he has truly shown how good he is. He can get people over, and he did with Ethan. The question's going to be, and Hathaway was kind of pissed off because he was wearing a hat due to the fact that he was told that he's got a shiny bald head. And for a guy like me with balding head myself, yes, I look young for my age, but unfortunately I'm going bald. It sucks. So a person like that's going to get pissed off. It happens. But I won't say it ruined the match. And of course, well, you know who won. Of course he was going to win. There was no way he wasn't going to win. Now, Claudio and Mox versus Top Flight. Now, I can say something about Hangman Page, but I'm not going to. We already know there's a good chance he'll be back in 2 weeks, so I'm not going there. I'm not going to say if it's good or bad, I'm just leaving it. What I want to focus on is Darius. Now, I normally don't talk about Darius. I talk about Dante. Dante has been what they've been focused on. But here they wanted to make Darius important. And that's what Moxley and particularly Claudio made him. They made him important. Now, does it mean it's going to translate to next year? Particularly if they let him have a run on his own like his brother Dante? I don't know. They want to try and make Top Flight as credible as possible. But since Darius was out before because he got hurt, and then out again because of the car accident, they need to rebuild Top Flight. So they want to make Darius just as tough as his brother to make sure people believe that Top Flight is a contender for the titles against the Acclaim. They're going there. It's going to happen. I'm just saying. And I also could talk about the Guns, but I'm not talking about the Guns. They left. That's it. We don't know what they're going to be doing next week for Rampage. They will be back, or Dynamite for that matter. I'm leaving them out. But I did want to make sure I mention them leaving the place because I thought I should. Now, let's go to the Acclaim's music video. Was it good? Yes. Hell yes. It's funny. When it comes to Caster, look, Caster, he got his... I repeat what John Cena said because he's right. John Cena was a good rapper. He's a good freestylist. But who feels more legitimate is going to be Caster. Caster can rap his ass off. He really got great notes. And when he brought up one about Global Force Wrestling with Jeff Jarrett saying it was basically a failure, two, trying to play up a little bit of Impact Wrestling storyline, saying that you basically took Kurt Angle's woman, and a couple of other things showing that he was a nobody, along with what he was talking about when it came to Jay Lethal. He just sounded good. And I want to say this. I really believe at this point in his life, when it comes to Billy Gunn, I think this is the most fun he's having. It's not just... he's wrestling a lot. He's not. He's not really wrestling. He's being basically a manager for the Acclaim. And only seldomly wrestles. At least as far as he should. Not saying the guy isn't. He's not like this. And he's nearly 60. And he looks like he's in his late 40s. He's nearly 60, guys. I'm 51. Yes, I don't look 100% bad for my age. but he's almost 60. He still can go in the ring, and he's still bodybuilding, and he still looks like this. That is not something that's unseen. Well, he's a Blade freak. Let's be honest, he's a Blade freak. He looks great for his age. And I think he's having more fun now than he ever did before. Really, I think this is the most fun he's ever had. Now, I'm not saying he didn't enjoy DX and the DX Army, but I think here it's a little different as a really, really important veteran, helping two guys there and seeing that these two guys are getting over and they're doing something so outlandishly nutty, and it's fun. I think this is the most fun he's ever had. That's just me. Now, let's get to Hook versus Link and what happened afterward. Did Link stand a chance? Nope. He was annihilated due to the fact Hook was mad about Big Bill Morrissey. Let's put this in perspective. If I was going to put any images in, and I probably am not, this is Hook, this is Big Bill, and they're like this, and Bill is just looking at him laughing. He looked like he was looking at his little kid, his son, and it was interesting to see that he almost threw him. Now, you know, it doesn't matter how big you are. If you're a judo expert, you do know how to honestly throw somebody no matter what size they are. And the more bigger they are, in most cases, they're more easy to throw. So he almost threw him. He's that good in that respect. Now, I know many people just can't stand Hook because he's like a flash in the pan. What the hell is this scrawled off runt like? Why would we care? But let's be honest. The devilish fiend Hook does have some interesting qualities. He's not like his dad. He's just not. The Tasmaniac and Taz don't have the same quality as he did when he first started out. It's totally different. Now, do you think if Taz was still in his prime, could he whoop his son? Yeah, probably could. I think Taz would probably beat the crap out of his son if he was about the same age as him and that he had as much experience as he does now. I truly do believe that. But he is over, and that's something that's going along with what's going on with J-Boy, which I call Jungle Boy. And now that they're working together, do I believe they're going to be a good tag team? I don't think they are a tag team. But they could be one, and maybe they should be one because there is no Luchasaurus. Either Luchasaurus is on Dark or Dark Elevation, which he should not, or he could be taking a break. I don't know. I don't know where he is because since I don't look at Dark or Dark Elevation, you could tell me below. But maybe he should be in a tag team. Maybe he needs to be in the tag division with him. So maybe they will go there. I don't know. Now, what do we got here? What can I say about Ruby Soho and Nightingale versus Anna? Ty and Anna. I don't want to see them anymore. And look, I'm not against Ty Mello. I'm not against Anna Jay. I'm not. I still like Ty Mello and I still like Anna Jay. But how many times have we seen them on the main roster? How many times have we seen them on Rampage, on Dark, on Rampage, on Dark, along with Penelope Forbes before she got hurt? And the Bunny. We've seen these women so much, so long. The problem for me is this, that you got other women on the roster like Sky Blue, like Red Velvet, who went away and came back, like Ella Gray. And look, there's so many women that they could be doing something on the main roster of Dynamite and Rampage. They should be showing more of their women. They should be giving those women storylines that are on the main brands of Dynamite and Rampage, but they don't. They keep sticking with the same core women that have been seen multiple times, and I don't hate them. They're not bad wrestlers, but I don't want to see them anymore. I want to see other women. Hira Kushida. We see her all the time when she's there. We barely seen Ruby Soho. We barely seen her. Look how many women we got. Leia Hirsch had a moment for a little while, and she's gone. What happened to everyone else? They're supposed to have multiple women, and we still don't see them. Now, the match was fine because there was a story with it, but one problem with that story. It feels like it's rushed, and it should be set for a pay-per-view. Or at least a signature show. Not this. And that's the problem. Ty Mello has a feud with Ruby Soho, and it should be important. Because Ruby got her nose broken months ago. And she has an easy beef with Ty because she has an attitude that I broke her nose. I am so good. And it should be about that. Now, yes, you can do a tag team because Ty is not going to be by herself because Anna's there. But I kind of wish they had not done this yet. I wish they had just built up to it until sooner or later, Ty has to be in the ring with Ruby with a stipulation. Now, that could still happen. But I feel that, and it's good that Ty won because they had to cheat. No problem with that. But I really want to just see Ty and Ruby throwing Anna Jay there. Yes, it's understandable. I just want to see someone new there. This is just me. You guys tell me. Finally, the final thing, and if I'm getting something, I'm sorry. And that is the Wardlow versus Samoa Joe match. Now, before the match even happened, the very beginnings of the show, Wardlow gets attacked by a steel pipe in the hands of a Mr. Destroyer, Mr. TV King. I know I can call him the King of TV, but I'm calling him King TV of TV. That is Samoa Joe. He takes a pipe, whacks him in the knee and in the back of the calf and messes him up. And that was the premise of this match. Can Wardlow deal with being hurt unfairly, and can he get himself over? Here's the thing. I still like Wardlow. I do. But Wardlow should be an ROH. Not because I hate him, but due to the fact that we had him here. He came down here. They have him in a feud with Samoa Joe, which did elevate him, but now what? He's not going after the heavyweight championship and MJF yet. That's not going to happen. That's going to happen maybe somewhere at the end of the year, if they even go there. So where are you going to put him? Throw him at ROH. Throw him at the pure title. Throw him at Claudio Castagnoli, because he doesn't really have anybody generally go after. Have him have a feud with Claudio. Something to give Wardlow something to do for a couple of months. Just something, because right now, after the match is over and he got choked out, who comes out of nowhere to try and go for the TNT title? Not the TV title, the TNT title. That is Darby Allin, and he nails Samoa Joe in the back. Now, they've had their fight before, so this is a good feud for Samoa Joe to stay relevant, to stay in the TNT title picture as the champ and make you feel important. But let's be honest, what now for Wardlow? Unless he's going to take a break and go away for a couple of months, he's going to still be on the main roster, and they got to do something with him. So what's going to be? You're going to have him show up on Elevation and Dark Elevation and Dark for a little bit, and then bring him back a couple of times, which he probably has already. You're going to let him take a break? Or are you going to let him deal with the ROH champion? Because he wants a title. He can't get that title because now Darby Allin is doing it. So if he's not going after the pure title of the Jericho Appreciation Society, which I know Ricky Starks did talk, and I'm not going to bother with that. We know Ricky can talk. We know that the Wizard, almost forgot, the Wizard can talk, and we will have a match next week, I believe. But we got to think of Wardlow now. Big guys on the main roster just don't get very far. And Wardlow, he went like this with MJF. He became T champion, went down because they didn't have anything for him. Now he was kind of brought back up a little bit here. What now? That's just me. I think that's what he needs. He needs to go after the ROH title and Claudio Castagnoli. Let them have a feud. Let Claudio piss him off. Let him piss off Claudio. I don't care. Just something, a goal. But this is just me. And this is Dynamite Delight for the last show of 2022. Please give me a comment below. And as you already know, the Best of Impact 2022 should be this Thursday, so there's not going to be anything there for me to really review unless I'm going to be asked to review the recap, which is kind of a waste. I will be doing Rampage, and I will be doing I am going to be in SmackDown. I want to see what's going to happen with John Cena and Roman Reigns, as well as Kevin and the Samoa Uso. I want to see that. So I'm hoping it'll be good. But that's just me. Peace.